Welcome, everyone, to the Fourth Line Plugs review of the 2025-2026 Ottawa Senators. Today we're going to look at how their season went and maybe a slight preview into what their offseason is going to look like. So starting here with the Ottawa Senators, finished with a record of 44, 27, and 11th. They got them 5th in the Atlantic, 6th in the East, but 2nd in the wild card, even though they're 9th in the NHL. Because the East was a wild place.
The Atlantic, especially towards the end of the year, was crazy. Plus, there were a bunch of Metro teams that finished right outside of that wild card 2 spot. That was a huge deal at the end of the year.
Yeah, and they finished above a couple of the Metro
that's
division teams.
All but one. So
yeah. But barely by like one game. But still. When we talk about kind of some of the struggles of this team, I mean, a big issue is, they got matched up with Carolina, who, as we can see through these playoffs, is an absolute buzzsaw of a team. They might have fared better against other teams, but the reason that they were matched up with Carolina because they got that wild card spot is they were really mediocre for a bunch of the year.
I mean, they just received like historically bad goaltending for the first half of the year, basically.
Yeah.
That was a big reason why they struggled so much at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaned it up towards the end, and we kind of saw what they look like when they could be good. And then Carolina just completely destroyed them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they got Freddie Anderson.
Yep.
Like Freddie Anderson was insane in that series. Has continued to be very good, but was just insane in that series. And they, had some some bad injury luck, some bad puck luck. We can make a bunch of excuses for this team if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I think I kind of do want to, because I think this wasn't how they wanted their season to end. Obviously, you never want to have your season end by you losing. You want to win a cup. But for this team, I think a reasonable expectation would have probably been to have made it to the second round, to have done better in their divisional race, in order to do stuff. Be more competitive in the first round. Right? No team wants to get swept in the manner that Ottawa did. But for what they got this year, for goaltending wise at the beginning, I mean, making the playoffs was really good. They were playing some of the best hockey in the NHL at the end of the year, one of the hottest teams coming in. And then honestly, they didn't play that bad in the Carolina series. It wasn't that bad. I don't know, they would have beaten the Pens and the Flyers probably if they faced them with the level of play that they brought.
Maybe Tampa, could have been beatable. And as you can see, their post Olympics, they went on a heater. As you see towards the bottom, their February, March, and April, where they were pretty fantastic and crawled their way back in. As you can see, from December, they were last in the division, 15th in the East.
Yep.
So they had to go on this big run. Kind of interesting. They absolutely struggled with the Central. If you want to look at a reason why they fell so far behind, they lost their season series to Nashville. They lost both games in regulation. I think they split with the Hawks. They split with one of the other really bad teams. So they're just throwing away games, and when you finish a couple points behind, Tampa and Montreal and Buffalo, that's how you end up facing against Carolina. So jumping over to their roster here, we have the full lineup. This is kind of what the season-ending lineup was. Names in green were acquisitions for this season. Contracts in orange are expiring after next season. Contracts in red expire right now. And then stat lines in gray are playoffs, because silver Stanley Cup, and white is their regular season. And as you can see, just by looking over the playoff stats, they just didn't score goals on this Carolina team, which, again, they got Freddie Anderson. But I think you want, even against good goaltending, more than 5 goals. Collectively.
It was not a very good offensive performance.
Yeah. And 3 of them came from Drake Batherson, who led the team in goal scoring in the playoffs. You know, he had 3 goals and 4 assists, but I thought he was kind of invisible outside of, you know, finishing. I think he had 2 goals in that game 4, but he didn't make anything happen on those plays. He was just the last guy that cleaned up. I think one of them was a rebound, and one of them, someone found him in the slot. Honestly, to me, their best forward was Dylan Cousins. I thought he was the most dangerous player on the ice for them offensively. I thought he was really fantastic. He had 2 goals in the series, and good XG. And Ridley Gregg didn't have a great XG, which 4-game sample size XGs are not super serious. But I thought he was also really good. Stutzle was fine. I thought Tkachuk was okay. Tkachuk has gotten raked over the coals for his playoff performance, but there's some more behind it with the team and the political climate surrounding him and Canada and everything. But I thought he was actually kind of okay in the series. He wasn't great.
Yeah. He
wasn't a game changer at all.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the problem, right? Is that no one on this team was able to be a game changer for them. I think a lot of that can be on this team can come from the back end. I think Jake Sanderson is a guy that drives a lot of play for them.
Yeah, and
obviously he missed time and was playing hurt. So
I thought he was their best skater.
Yeah. So he's incredible. So this is I feel like a team in the. This almost feels like where Carolina was like last year or the year before, where they kind of play a pretty good like structural style. They don't give up too many opportunities. They usually outshoot their opponents. They do all this stuff right, but they're kind of missing that X factor. And there's a lot of players on this team that you would want to be that X factor. I don't think that's the case with Carolina. I think when you looked at the Carolina roster, like last year, you're like, okay, there's not that much star power here. But you look here and you're like, you got Tim Stutzle, you got Brady Tkachuk, Cousins got a little bit of pedigree in him. You know what I mean? Like you got these names. You got Jake Sanderson, of course. Jordan Spence has been really good for them as well on the blue line, right? So you have a bunch of players that you're like, there's expectations on these guys that they're able to step up in the playoffs, and this year none of them did. Because like you said, like Cousins was fine. He was good, but wasn't like a game changer. Like really bring anything there. Batherson, who led them in goals, was just basically finishing it. He's not like a play driver or a guy that's really going to take over a series. That's not really his MO. He's a good goal scorer, but that's about all he's got going for him. So like you're really looking for somebody to take the next step here and look over it. I think when you look at this team, you're looking at Tim Stutzle. To be that game changer, that backbreaker. And I thought he was a little bit unlucky in the series. He had a bunch of times where, like he had the game on his stick and it just didn't quite work out for him. The plays that I think that the normal Tim Stutzle would have made, but maybe the moment was too bright for him. Maybe he's just not quite there yet, or maybe it was just genuinely unlucky. I'm not sure. I don't think this means he's like a bad player, or that he, like anything like that happens. But like when you look at this team, that's where my eyes look at for like, we need offense, man. Like we need something out of nothing, right? Tim Stutzle is something out of nothing. He's magic with the puck on his stick. Yeah. So the fact that he didn't show up to this series in that way, I think was a big deal for them. I'm wondering if it's going to take a similar thing to what Carolina needed in order to make the jump. Which is just another elite winger.
Yeah,
like Nick Ehlers kind of looking like the truth right now. For Carolina, I think we can look at them and be like, hey, if this team had a Nick Ehlers, how much better would they be? Yeah. Being like one line deeper in terms of playmaking abilities, right? Having a guy that can play all over the place. I mean, Nick Ehlers don't grow on trees. But I think they need one more piece, or for one of their guys to take a massive leap, because this team just doesn't seem to have the ceiling that it takes to compete with the big dogs in the playoffs. when things get a little bit done. I think it's exactly like what Carolina was experiencing too, where it's like you can generate chances, you can generate shots, and you can do all this stuff, right? But if you don't have the guys, right? You don't have the guys that can actually do stuff, then you're just not going to win games. You're not going to put more than 5 goals up in your 4 games against another playoff team.
And like when you look at where would a Nick Ehlers fit? I mean, I look at that right side. And, Giroux, who's still a good, productive player at age 38, shouldn't probably be getting the minutes he does. Should be a situational, guy for them. Playing more middle six, maybe more third line. Ridley Gregg, love him as a hustle guy.
Yeah.
Not a guy who should be seen top 6 minutes. Should be like, the battery of a third line. And I like their bottom 6. Shane Pinto's great. They got a lot of nice role players, but they didn't have really anybody that was a difference maker down here either.
Right. Yeah, I mean the reason I'm gonna keep talking about Carolina a little bit because I think these teams are pretty similar and the way that they're done. Like the reason that they're on the run that they're on right now is because they genuinely have 3 lines with playmaking and finishing on them.
Yeah.
And I think like when you look at this Senators team, they're close to that. But they don't quite have the quality. They don't have the quality there. They don't have that third play driver. I don't think Shane Pinto is a good goal scorer. He's a great defensive center. I love Shane Pinto, but he's not bringing you all. He's not offense in a can. You know what I mean? Like you gotta surround him like with talent and stuff like that. So I think that's really what they're missing. I don't know where they're gonna find that this offseason. Because I don't know where they're going to find that ever, if I'm being completely honest with you. It seems like no one becomes a free agent anymore. So this could be a team that has to trade their way into something like this.
That's how a lot of the winners are built nowadays.
That's very true.
Florida built through trade a lot outside Barkov and Ekblad. Vegas is built almost exclusively through trades.
Yeah.
Carolina's built themselves up in trades. You have Montreal drafting your way in, and Colorado's kind of drafted in. But I mean, even they're built, through trades on a lot of their surrounding pieces.
Yeah, I think they've done all the bits that they need to drafting wise to have the players that they need. It's just like getting those high end additional players.
Yeah,
like they have a Tim Stutzle, they have a Jake Sanderson, they have a Brady Tkachuk, right? They have these things, but like. Yeah, they're just missing. They're just missing a little bit more of that. So
yeah,
I think this is probably around the ceiling of this team, barring anything crazy. Like I don't think there's really a whole lot of improvement here in terms of sure like
true improvement.
Right,
I think they could win a series against a weaker opponent.
Yeah,
But
you don't look at this team as being like a world.
Well, then they'll get swept by Carolina in the second round instead.
Right? I guess Omar could be that guy that gives them the ceiling to do it. He was He was solid to quite good in the Carolina series. Just got out bullied by Freddie Anderson. He was pretty good. So and he was much better towards the end of the year. So I'm curious if he can get the mentality stuff good enough to where he can have a full year to get them into a better position to kind of win a playoff series. Yeah. And then maybe with like some momentum rolling, like maybe that's what you're going, but like I don't know, it's not.
I think they're going to find a tandem for him.
Yeah.
Cuz when he was really great in Boston, he had Swayman. He wasn't asked to start 50 plus games. Merlainen was pretty terrible this year. He's shown some potential at times in previous years. Maybe you bet on him again, or maybe not. He's 23, so he's young for a goalie. I don't think you want Reimer as your number 2 long term.
Yeah,
it kind of worked a little bit this year, but not that much. Whenever they brought him in as a free agent midseason, I would
definitely be looking for a high end backup. I think.
Yeah.
Here, that's a good That's a good one. And then I don't know, like I feel like they just got to do something.
Yeah.
Like if they really want to succeed, they gotta make some move. They gotta shake something up.
Yeah.
To get a little bit more talent in here. Because it's not quite there.
Yeah. And they have some interesting guys. Like, where's Fabian Zetterlund fit in this team? And if he doesn't fit somewhere solidly, like, I think he's still, I wouldn't say like a high value asset, but he's a guy who could be part of a package that could get you a return.
I mean, they theoretically have some decent pieces that they could use. Like you said, Zetterlund. I think Carter Yakemchuk is a guy that, like, does he have the clearest path to success here? With the way that with how deep their blue line already is, right? With Zub and Spence, I don't know that they need another right-handed defenseman.
That was gonna be my thing. Is like between Yakemchuk and Spence, like you probably don't need both of them, and Sanderson. So, whichever way you want to go, do you want the slightly more proven Spence or the 5 years younger,
right,
and probably cheaper Yakemchuk, which you could probably get some.
We'll see, because Spence does not have a contract right now. He's an RFA this year, so we'll see how that ends up going. I think we'll probably know a little bit about their direction based on what kind of contract he ends up getting.
Yeah.
Be that a bridge, be that something that looks tradable, or something like that. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, like between Yakemchuk, they don't have this year's pick, but they do have their first for 2027 and 2028. So sorry, they do have all three of them.
Yeah,
yes,
they have all their firsts. They have three thirds this year, no second.
Yep. So I was looking at the wrong thing, but yes, so they've got tradable picks. They've got very interesting young players that they could do. They could deal out. Like I think there's definitely a world where a package of like Zetterlund, Yakemchuk, and a first is not quite the Quinn Hughes deal, but is close.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's close to a Quinn Hughes package, and they don't need a Quinn Hughes. You know, like
you get a very good player with that kind of a package.
Right. So like that package could get you like a Jordan Kyrou, for instance. Right. I think would be a perfect fit on this team. If they could make the money work. He's making a little bit of money, but
And they have 17.3, 5 going into next season. You got to get Spence signed. That's really the only big deal one. You have to figure out for this season. Everybody else should be a pretty cheap re-sign. So they do have some money to play with, and the cap is spiking. So you don't have to really worry about Batherson and Zub and Amadio and Fogle and Tkachuk all coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
And then I guess one other thing that I find interesting with this team, I wonder what is Shabbat's long-term role? Being on the second pair, I think he's solidly behind Sanderson at this point.
Yeah.
Is he going to want to re-sign after these 2 years are up, or is he going to want a pay raise? Does Warner, Spencer, Yakemchuk also need a pay raise, and you're going to pay 3 guys primo money?
Right.
Especially if Zub's like, hey, I'm one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. I want money too, which I don't think is going to happen. Probably take 6 or something like that, like a little raise.
Yeah, I doubt he goes to free agency, but I could see Shabbat wanting potentially to test the market. I mean, he'll be 30 years old, and he is a first pairing quality defenseman.
Yeah.
Right. And making first pairing quality money, and will want to make first pairing quality money on his next contract. So I guess the benefit that the Sens have is that Sanderson and Stutzle are on great contracts.
They are.
They locked them up before the cap spiked, so both of them making a little over 8. That's fantastic for some of your best players. Tkachuk, his contract expires in 2 years. Obviously, there have been a bunch of questions about him for every single reason, but like also like like we're getting to the point where his contract is another one of those reasons, right? So it could be another case of a player who does or doesn't want to be there. It seems like from what I've heard about like from him, it seems like he does like being there and that he likes the people and stuff like that, but like obviously you never know what actually is going on, and there's a lot of reasons that people have to speculate and stuff like that. He'd definitely be an interesting piece to build a trade around. So, and it's right at that time too with there being 2 years after this one on his contract. That's getting around the time where like management is probably like, hey man, what are your long-term plans here? Like, what are we thinking? Because there's that. He does have what is that, full no move clause.
Yep.
So you'll have to work around that. Probably going to limit some of the return, but like if that's the direction that he and the team want to go in, I could see them getting something pretty good. Pretty good for him. So there's a lot of good, like there is enough talent on this team, and there is enough like value on this team to create like a Stanley Cup contender. Like 100%. It's just a matter of consolidating it and putting the pieces in the right spots to where they really can compete. So and maybe one more Stutzle jump.
He's been like super up and down, as we talked about last offseason. That has like these really high peaks and then like these years where it's just kind of like, he's good, I guess. This was another, pretty high peak year.
Yeah, it's a good year.
So I think they're gonna.
But you look at him and you're like, he could do better. You know what I mean? Like you look at this player. He could easily be a 100-point player, 40 goal scorer. You look at the talent that he's got, the wheels on this kid, the hands on this kid. Like he has everything that he could possibly need in order to do that. So it's just putting together the actual year, right?
Yeah.
So
I think getting some at least a quality winger with him. Like Batherson is a good pair with him. I think Tkachuk works with him too, whichever way they want to go there, but. I think on the other side of that lineup, they're going to want to get somebody of a higher quality. Scrolling down here to their prospects, one thing is that there's not a lot left of like high quality guys. There's some like minorly intriguing players, but not anybody that you're like, oh yeah, they got stud on the way.
And they've been good-ish for a little bit too long now at this point to have, their most interesting young player is Yakemchuk, who spent, this year in the A, got a little bit of shot with the team, but he is on the doorstep. Yep. But yeah, no one else is particularly interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this Andonovsky guy's maybe a little something potentially down the road. I guess the big one is Logan Hensler, who was their first-round pick this past year. He looked fine in the NCAA this year. Nothing spectacular, but defensemen take a minute, and he was not like a slam dunk player. Right, he's gonna take some development. But interestingly, like in that same lane as Spence and Yakemchuk, so we'll see how that develops long term. But yeah, there's just not a lot on the way in the pipeline, so they're gonna have to build this thing through some rolling some dice. Other than this Beckman kid they found in the fourth round in the queue, it's kind of nasty this year. In net, so it'll be interesting what they do with him. The goalies are always voodoo, so he might just dominate the queue and never do anything. But interesting. It's always nice to have potential goalies in the pipeline. So
absolutely.
And then without going too much into their numbers, I did just pull their goals for and against and their power play goals for and against. Penalty killing is power play goals against, but their actual and expected. just to see kind of where the issues with this team were. And as you can see, their defense is very good. Their system is very good. They just got like no goaltending this year. They're first in expected goals against, first in penalty kill expected, and they were terrible on the penalty kill. They were terrible. Or I guess not. They were okay in goals against this year, whereas their offense was kind of right where it's supposed to be. Their power play could have been better, but
yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a team. You can tell they play good defense. They play well to their systems. There's a lot of depth here in terms of like good players. We're talking about lack of like elite play handling or play driving, but like in terms of like ability to be like good productive NHL players, they've got that all over the lineup. They've got high end defensemen all over the lineup. We just talked about how Sanderson and Shabbat, both potential first quality guys. Zub, one of the best defensemen. Defensive defenseman in the National Hockey League. Yep. Spence had a great year this year. Like this is a team that has basically two pairings. I think that could be a first pairing. Yeah. So that always helps with your shot suppression metrics. Yep. Sanderson, super good defensively too. Both Zub and Sanderson, very good defensively. Spence had good defensive numbers as well. Like there's just a team that like plays good, defensively responsible hockey, plays well to their systems, and is just lacking that little bit of oomph that they need in order to take it to the next level. So,
so I guess looking forward, what they need, I mean, top pair wing or top line winger. I don't know that maybe you should go, enter the Alex Tuch bidding war, but I mean, maybe that's exactly what you need.
Yeah, I mean, he would be huge for them. I don't think they can afford it because they need to give Spencer Reyes, and then they'll have contracts to sign next year. I don't think they can afford the 11 probably 11 ish, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think a Jordan Kyrou is a great shout. It's just like he fits this team's kind of identity of being defensively responsible.
Yeah, solid defensively, but he's got a little more firepower, a little more oomph to him, and clearly needs a change of scenery. I mean, not clearly, but like was publicly on the trade market.
Yeah.
Like extremely publicly on the trade market, and had his minutes cut and stuff like that. So I think a guy like him could be a big pickup.
Yeah, and I mean you could, if you didn't want to pay a Spence, I think St. Louis would jump all over a Spence. I think they would love to.
I think they'd jump all over a Carter Yakemchuk.
Yeah, I think you like maybe a little bit more than Kyrou. I don't know. For a 7th overall, that's
yeah. But like I don't know.
But I mean,
dude, does that get you Robert? Does that get you Rob Thomas? The package that we talked about with like Zetterlund's, Yakemchuk, and like a first. Does that get you Rob Thomas?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't really know what you do with Rob Thomas. Maybe.
I mean, does it even matter? Like, does it even matter what you do with Rob Thomas? You're just adding Rob Thomas, like.
Yeah, but like, I guess you're moving Cousins to the wing, or.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't look at this team and think they need like firepower down the middle.
Yeah.
Like Stutzle, Cousins, Pinto.
Look, you take your firepower where you get it, Colin.
That's true.
Take your firepower where you get it.
That's true. Just go the Team Canada method.
I mean,
we'll figure it out in post.
Yeah, grab 9 centers.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I don't know. I guess you have to figure out Nick Jensen. 35, coming off injury, solid defenseman. Solid contributor, especially if he gives you a little bit of a veteran discount. On that $4 million. Not that you really need money too much right now, but
no, if he wants to come back for around that same price, I think they should let him. Or maybe one of those vet friendly deals with like incentives and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
I know
$2 million with like $1.5 million in bonuses or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm pretty sure that's what Giroux is going to get to, because I'm pretty sure he's never leaving Ottawa as long as he wants to play, and it seems like he does want to play again. Yeah. So I think he'll probably get
I think I saw that they want to bring him back.
And I think that makes sense because he was still a productive player. He's got a role. on the team. Hopefully it's less.
Imagine if you put him on the third line.
Yeah,
you let him cook with like Pinto and your hustle winger of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think it's kind of a nice little third line.
Yeah, no, he's a super productive player for sure. So, I think you nailed it. I think a top winger. They got to figure out the Jensen situation.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get Spence a contract, and then I think we mentioned it earlier, but just to reiterate, I really think you want to invest in a backup goalie.
Yeah,
like a good quality backup goalie that you're not gonna feel bad about every time they start. You're gonna feel like, this is a guy that can take a couple more starts off of Olmark's plate just to keep him fresh, rested, feeling good, and all that stuff. Because he's got it. Like when he's got it. But he so often has not had it, and so having another guy you can depend on while he's getting it back, that's big. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to wrap us here for the Ottawa Senators. We'll see what they do this summer. I think they're going to be an interesting team to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more of these, please be sure to like and subscribe. We got more on the way. And until then, we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.